Hi everybody and welcome to Top of the Key. This is my first YouTube video, and to the millions of people watching, probably no one's watching, let's be honest, but hey, I decided to make a channel all about the NBA. Well, not really, probably mostly about the Raptors, but I will try to make NBA weekly content, talking about players of the week, teams of the week, teams I've been watching, maybe do weekly awards as well, we'll see. But for this first video, what I wanted to do was to predict where NBA teams would finish or do. So I have 6 tiers, finals bound, pretty much the 2 teams I think are going to make the NBA finals. Contenders but missing a little something. That pretty much means I can see you getting to the finals, but there's something about that team that is kind of not all that compared to the 2 teams I have. Playoff lock is self-explanatory, kind of mid. You have no direction, and I have no idea what you're going to do this season, what you're going to go in the trade deadline. You can either be sellers or buyers. Rebuilding, that's for the teams that are have a clear path of sucking. And then Cooper Flag looks good. Only a couple teams are going to be in that category, and you should all agree on those teams because they look to be abysmal. All right, we're just going to go in alphabetical order, starting off with the Atlanta Hawks, mid. They picked up Zachary Richesse. I have no idea how you pronounce his name, as the first overall pick, so that he looks promising. He's been solid in preseason. I haven't watched any preseason, by the way. I'm just assuming he's been solid. Trae Young will put up his, close to 30 points per game. Bogdan Bogdanovic is pretty solid shooter. Who else do they have? They still have DeAndre Hunter. They picked up, so they traded away DeJounte Murray. That will probably hurt their defense, especially in the backcourt. They got back Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance Jr. I mean, there probably will be a play-in team in the East, but I can't really see them going any further than that. Celtics, straight away, let's be honest, they are probably going to make the NBA Finals again. Their team is so deep. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown leading the way. Finals MVP, and Brown had a fantastic season. Jason Tatum, look for him to bounce back after not playing much in the Olympics. I know he was probably, not happy about that. So he's going to come out and shine again. He's going to probably be up there in the scoring leaders. Porzingis looks to, and you factor in Porzingis probably wasn't even, not probably, wasn't healthy the playoff run last season. If he's healthy, are they going to ever lose? I don't really think so. And then, of course, Jrue Holiday, Derek White, one of the best backcourts probably in the NBA. So, yeah, they have pretty much essentially, there's no such thing as a perfect team, but they're as close to perfect. Nets, who is actually going to watch a Brooklyn Nets game in 2024-2025 unless you are a Nets fan? Cam Thomas, he's good. They got Ben Simmons, Nick Claxton, and then probably around the trade deadline they're probably going to look to move Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith. So for Nets fans, just pray that every night when your team plays, it's not a 40-point blowout. Magic, mid. Hornets, mid. But Hornets, I will say, are probably a more exciting team to watch this upcoming season than the Hawks. I don't know. I don't mind watching the Hornets play. LaMelo Ball, one of the flashiest players in the NBA, so he's, of course, very exciting. Brandon Miller, his second year. He had a very solid rookie season last season. I'm excited to see what he can do. They got Seth Curry back. They still have Micic. They got Trey Mann, who's pretty solid. Not a bad team. They are going to be in that play-in sort of range with the Hawks. I hope LaMelo stays healthy because he's a very, very good player, one of my favorite players to watch. So yeah, we'll see what they do this season. Bulls. The Bulls are a tricky one. They're kind of in between here. I don't actually know where to put them because they still have Zach LaVine. I'll put them in rebuilding because I don't think. Okay, no, but I'm gonna put them kind of mid because I can't really put them lower than the Hornets. They still have Zach LaVine. It won't surprise me if they go either way. So it won't surprise me if they come out and surprise some people and win more games than they are expected, or it won't surprise me if they come out this season and completely shit the bed. Kobe White had a very good year last year. He had a breakout season. I think he was a most improved player finalist. Still have Zach LaVine, like I mentioned. They still have Vucevic. I think they should try to move off him as soon as possible. Ayo Dosunmu's back. He's a pretty solid player. Yeah, the Bulls, they can make the play-in, but they really are kind of still lacking that bit of, direction. Buzelis, the rookie, he looks to be pretty good. So, yeah, Bulls fans, I don't know. Your team still needs to commit to its rebuild more than they currently are. Cavs are a playoff lock. Donovan Mitchell, incredible. Top 15 player in the NBA, maybe. But yeah, he's incredible. Great player. Evan Mobley, I'm looking for him to take a jump offensively. I think if he's the second best player for this team, I think that team will really shine. He needs to cement himself as a second best player. Darius Garland had a kind of a disappointing kind of season last season. So yeah, but they'll be in the playoffs for sure. Mavericks, contenders, but missing a little something to the team. I'm going to put from the West. I think the Mavs, obviously Luka Doncic is probably the second or third best player in the NBA. Depends who you ask. Kyrie Irving, of course. They added Klay Thompson, which will give them a boost in shooting. They needed shooting desperately, and they got Klay Thompson. However, they did lose Derrick Jones Jr., but they replaced him with Najee Marshall. So overall, I think they're still a great team. They made the finals last year. They're going to be there in the West this season too. Nuggets, same place as the Mavs. Contenders, but missing a little something. Their depth, I'm not a fan of. Off the bench, they have Julian Strawther, Peyton Watson, Dario Saric. Their depth isn't comparable to the Western Conference team I'm going to put in finals bound, but when you have Nikola Jokic, you can win the finals. That's how good he is. MVP candidate will probably be there again this year. So yeah, Nikola Jokic is just amazing that he can carry a team to the finals. Pistons, this is the first team that's going in the rebuilding. Look, last season, just a write-off. You lost 20 some odd games in a row. But you know what? You got some shooting. You got Tim Hardaway Jr., you got Malik Beasley, you added Ron Holland in the draft. Cade Cunningham is for sure going to continue to grow. I think Pistons fans kind of now start to look forward to the future. Just wipe away last year like it never happened. I think the Pistons will be solid. Warriors, y'all are mid. Poor Steph Curry. He's kind of wasting away his final years in the NBA, final years of his prime in the NBA. I really don't see this team. Their ceiling to me is the first round in the playoffs, and that's only because of Stephen Curry. That's solely it. He's literally the only reason to watch this team. They got Buddy Hield, Kyle Anderson. Who else do they add? DeAnthony Melton. They still got Draymond. He might kick some balls, but besides that, it's not. They ain't gonna do shit. Houston, that's the Pacers. My bad. For the Rockets, I think putting them kind of mid would be a disservice. So but they're gonna go at the top of kind of mid because last season they took a massive step. The addition of Fred VanVleet really, I think, helped that team grow, and he can be a vet to help the young guys. Alfred Sengun is incredible. He's a great player. They added Reed Shepherd in this draft. He's a rookie of the year. He's going to be up there for rookie of the year. Jalen Green, to me, I still don't really know what to make of him. He had a great season last year, but I kind of just want to see that consistency where I can call him a good young player. Yeah, but they have a really good team. They have a lot of young guys, though. Amen Thompson is still there. He had a good year last year. Cam Whitmore. I think they should explore trading a couple of those players. Jabari Smith Jr. is in there too, just because they have so much of those wings that I think they can look for a trade to help them in depth. Pacers are a playoff lock. Oh no, definitely not Cooper Flagg. Playoff lock. They made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Now I know they had to play against the Knicks, which the Knicks were not healthy, but hey, you got to beat who's in front of you, and the Pacers did that. Tyrese Halliburton is is a top 5 point guard in this league. They have a full year of Pascal Siakam. They still have Miles Turner. Their depth is also really good too. Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson coming off the bench. They have a very, very deep team, probably one of the deepest in the league, but they are missing something to put them in these two things. If they got another better player to add, that would be a concrete number 2 option, because I think Pascal on a championship team is probably a 3rd option guy. I love Pascal Siakam, but I have to be real. But the Pacers, they're going to be there. Clippers, oh goodness. Okay, before the Kawhi Leonard injury, I would have put them here, but now I'm putting them at the top of kind of mid. Oh jeez, poor Clippers fans. All those assets that you traded to get Paul George, it's gone now. That is a years wasted out of this franchise that they now are in purgatory. They have all this money owed to James Harden, all this money owed to Kawhi. They're not going to be up there competing for the West. In the West, Kawhi is injured again to start the year. It's the same old story for the Clippers. I really don't see how their ceiling this year is similar to the Warriors, first round. Lakers, the Lakers are so hard to do, because if they click everything right, they can be a contender, but also if everything goes wrong, they're going to be mid. I kind of just have to go with my gut feeling and put them at the top of kind of mid. I think I will have them better than the Clippers, just because of Kawhi's injury to start the year. I don't think the Clippers are going to be that good. But then again, they still have James Harden. These two teams are very hard to do, but I'm going to put the Lakers there. Their depth still is a question mark. I mean, off the bench, they have Gabe Vincent, Killian Hayes, Christian Wood. They have Dalton Connect. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but he had a huge game last night in the preseason. But LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they're still going to put up their numbers. So they're going to fight for a playoff spot. That's the best I think they'll do. And of course the Bronny James cloud is going to hang over them, but I honestly don't think Bronny will play that. He'll play it in the beginning, but then after that, I don't think he'll have that really much to do in this season. The Grizzlies, I'm going to put in the playoff lock. Ja Morant coming back, of course, is huge. He's going to make y'all who forgot him know who Ja Morant is. Ja Morant, when it comes to basketball, is elite. He's one of my favorite players. He's so good. To all those Zion Williamson lovers, Ja is better. He always has been better. As soon as they step into the league, I've always said Ja Morant over Zion, not even a question. He's going to make y'all remember who he is. And of course, I still have Jaren Jackson Jr., who won Defensive Player of the Year a couple years ago. Marcus Smart, he missed last season. He's coming back. Desmond Bane is a great 3-point shooter. They have a great team. They're going to be a playoff lock. The Heat, I'm looking at the East, and the Heat should be here. But honestly, I'm going to put the Heat at playoff lock, because I think Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo are good enough to get you in the playoffs, but their depth, again, is non-existent. Josh Richardson, they have Highsmith. They got Kyle Ware in the draft. He looks really, really good. But yeah, the Heat, they're probably one of the most boringest teams in the league to assess, because really they're even boring to watch. Let's be honest, nobody's watching Heat games besides Heat fans. So yeah, I can say whatever I want in this video because no one's watching anyway. The Bucks. Oh, this one's hard. You know what? The Bucks I'm putting in contenders, but missing a little something. I'm kind of in between here. I think the Bucks at their best are better than these teams. If Damian Lillard steps it up and has one of those years where he's capable of having, the Bucks can easily get out of the East. They can easily, well, not easily, but they are capable of challenging the Celtics because Giannis is so freaking good. You know, he's a top 3 player. Dame, he's a great player, and their depth isn't bad. You know, there's huge questions around Chris Middleton because of his ankle. Brook Lopez is another year older. They have DeLon Wright off the bench, Pat Connaughton. They got picked up Gary Trent. Who's their backup center? I don't even know who their backup center is. I'm drawing up. Oh, Bobby Portis. Yeah, Bobby Portis. He's pretty solid. Yeah, they're a solid team, but you know, we'll see what they can do. I'm hoping for a bounce back here. 2 straight first round exits for them, so they need to prove something. Timberwolves, definitely, I think they're going to go at the front here. Their depth is crazy. They traded Karl-Anthony Towns, which is going to suck for them, but I think once they get going, I think defensively they're still going to be very good, and they're still going to be at near the top of the West. You know, Anthony Edwards is solidified top 10 caliber player now, so he's going to be great again. Jalen McDaniels is one of the best 3-and-D players in the NBA. And then Julius Randle, I think, will fit decently next to Gobert and with Anthony Edwards. Not as good as Karl-Anthony Towns, but not enough where I don't think they'll be a contender again. I think they'll still be a contender. Their depth is really good too, because off the bench they picked up Joe Ingles. They still have Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Rob Dillingham, who they drafted, is going to be pretty good. So yeah, they're Naz Reid, of course. I forgot to mention him. He won 6th Man of the Year last year. So yeah, Timberwolves are still going to be elite. Pelicans, they ain't a lock, but they'll go at the top here. Can they just trade? The Brandon Ingram talks have been going on for so long that, you know, it's kind of annoying. What are they going to do with him? It's been lingering now where I don't even want to talk about it. Is when I hear a notification on my phone about Brandon Ingram, I just delete it. Unless if it's a trade, then I'll react to it. But of course, Zion, he'll be good as well, just not as good as Ja Morant. Trey Murphy is a great shooter. Jose Alvarado is a good plug guy. They picked up DeJounte Murray from the Hawks, so that should help their backcourt. CJ McCollum's still good. So yeah, Pelicans, they'll be fighting for a playoff spot in the West. Knicks are a contender. I'm going to put them right behind the Mavs. Of course, when you pick up a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns, the outlook of the team jumps in terms of their ceiling. Of course, they already had Jalen Brunson too. Jalen Brunson is a star in this league now, no doubt. They have one of my favorite players from the Raptors days, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges. Oh my God, they picked up Mikal Bridges too. They did 2 of the biggest trades this offseason. So yeah, they're going to be very good. They're probably going to be the 2nd seed in the East. If you ask me right now who's the 2nd best team in the East, I would have to say the Knicks. Thunder, they're going to the finals. They just have such a deep team. They have a deep team and they have a superstar. And when you have that, that's exactly what the Celtics have. A deep team and a superstar. Magic are a playoff lock in the East. I'm going to put them right behind the Grizzlies. Magic are a good team. Very good team. Very solid young core. Paolo Banchero coming off a great rookie year. Was it his rookie? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Was it his rookie year? I forgot. But he came off a great year last year. I think it was his rookie year. Franz Wagner needs to improve his 3-point shooting, but he's a good player. Wendell Carter Jr., Jalen Suggs. They have a great team there. So yeah, they'll be a playoff team. 76ers are hard. I'm kind of tempted to put them here, but there's uncertainty. It could not work. So I'm going to put them first in playoff lock, just solely because I hate to see a season of Paul George playing with Joel Embiid, but they do also have Tyrese Maxey. I'm kind of torn. I'll keep them here. Paul George is going to miss a bit to open the year because he got injured in preseason, but they have an MVP candidate player too in Joel Embiid. But the difference is with these teams here, their depth isn't quite as there. They have Kyle Lowry. I love Kyle Lowry, but in 2024, if he's your backup point guard option, it's not looking too good. The same with Eric Gordon. They have Jared McCain. They got Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond is a very good backup center, but yeah, I think they'll be solid. The Suns are pretty much the Sixers of the West, but I'll put them here because I think this is hard. I think they're a bit better than the Sixers because their top three, I think, I can't even say that because Bradley Beal isn't really at the level of Tyrese Maxey or Paul George. I'm putting the Suns here. You have to prove me something. All right, last year for your standards was abysmal. Okay, Suns fans, you have to prove me something. You still have Kevin Durant, great player. Devin Booker, great player. Bradley Beal, good player. But besides that, you have Grayson Allen, who's a great three-point shooter. Nurkic is not good anymore, let's be honest. Who's their backup center? Plumlee. Plumlee's actually pretty solid. You know what? They should start Plumlee, because I think he's low-key better than Nurkic. But whatever. They have Royce O'Neal. He'll punch somebody in the face if something goes wrong. The Suns, they'll be solid, but I don't think they'll contend. Trailblazers, oh man. I'll just... Man, Cooper Flag looks good, man. Scoot Henderson, you didn't do that much last year. Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant. They still had a solid team, but like... Yeah, I'll leave them there. I think they're better than the Nets. I think they'll be a bit better than the Nets, but I don't think they'll be in the Pistons level. But they, if Scoot Henderson takes a jump, they can be good. Jeremy Grant, he's pretty good. Oh, they have DeAndre Ayton. He needs to do something. Robert Williams, he needs to just stay on the floor. The Trailblazers, yeah, they're going to be there. But I think that's what they want to do. Trailblazers, that's what you should do. You need a guy like Cooper Flag. Kings, I think... The Kings... They didn't make the playoffs last year, so I can't call them a playoff lock. But I'll put them above the Lakers. I think they'll be better than the Lakers. They picked up DeMar DeRozan. He'll be a good scorer for them. They have De'Aaron Fox, obviously. Sabonis, one of the best pick and roll duos in the league. Malik Monk is going to be there for 6th man of the year. They still have Kevin Huerter. They still have Alex Len on the bench. They have Keon Ellis, Keegan Murray. They're a deep team, very deep team. They'll be good. Spurs are rebuilding. They could, in a perfect world, make the play-in, but I think they're just kind of lacking something. Chris Paul was a good pickup just because of his veteran presence, and he'll help out the young guys. But yeah, I think Spurs fans, you have a very bright future, obviously, with Vic. He is a freak of nature. He is a unicorn. That word gets tossed around way too loosely, but he is a very good player. Spurs are doing good. Raptors, I'm putting in the same category. I don't think the Raptors are going to be as bad as these two teams, but they have a good trajectory going on with Scotty Barnes. I think Scotty Barnes can potentially make the All-Star game again. Although Jakob Poeltl said we're going to suck, I think they'll pick up some wins. RJ Barrett had a great year when he got traded. Manuel Quickley also. They have a good young team. And as a Raptors fan, I'm happy of our trajectory. Jazz rebuilding. Lauri Markkanen. Honestly, I think they missed an opportunity trading him. I think they could have got a lot of assets back. Now they kind of have to keep him until the trade deadline at least because they signed a contract extension with him. So yeah, you kind of have to hope he matches his production from the last couple of years. If you want to get those same assets you could have got back for him now. Besides that, their team is like a bunch of good players that are not great. Colin Sexton, Walker Kessler. They got that Sensabaugh dude. Jordan Clarkson, I think I already said him. Yeah, their team is cool. Wizards, honestly, they're going to be very bad. I actually don't know who's going to be worse between the Nets and the Wizards. It's going to be a shit contest to see who gets the last seed in the East, because the Wizards, their best player is Kyle Kuzma. And whenever your best player is Kyle Kuzma, no shot to Kyle Kuzma. I think he's pretty good. But if he's your best player, you're going to be a 15th or 14th seed. All right. That is my predictions for the NBA teams this year. This is the tier list. Well, could I be wrong? Probably. I'm probably 100% wrong in everything. The finals are probably going to be the Kings versus the freaking Bulls. So, who knows?